Hi, I'm Jenny Bell. Today I'm going to share with you a reading and a review of Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle cards with the artwork by Danielle Noel. For this reading, I'm going to use her, what she refers to as our Holy Trinity, which is the first card represents your head, the second your body, and the third your heart. So if you'd like to think of a question or a decision that you've been thinking about, and then we will see what the cards have to say. Remember, anytime you're doing this, cards are going to pop up that you need. So anytime you're watching this. Okay, so the first card represents the head, the second the body, and the third the heart. So the first card is Council of Light. So if you're not familiar, these are the ascended masters and sometimes archangels, such as we have Mother Mary in there, and the Buddha, Master Jesus, El Morye, right? So there's different Council of Light, people who have ascended past this life, guiding us. And so in this case, they're guiding us in our decision with our third eye. They're here guiding and helping us in this subtle realm. So whatever you've been thinking about or question you've had, chances are you've had the answer, you've heard the answer, seen the answer, but you maybe just were denying that that's not what it was. You weren't trusting yourself. And then for the body protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So this means, again, that maybe you're just not feeling powerful in your own ideas or decision. So what you can do is call on your angels and guides, particularly Archangel Michael and El Morye, and ask them, El Morye is right here, to cut the cords between you and anything holding you back. And just close your eyes and relax and let yourself see these cords from your heart and your soul that are to past people or places holding you back. Just see them being cut by Archangel Michael's fiery sword, and know that you are protected. You can call back your power. I have a meditation on that. And then if you're interested in soul retrieval, Rebecca Campbell has information on that as well. And then our last one is the heart, which is the most important. And it's Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So this means, again, that you already know what you need to do. You know the answer to what you were asking or what you were thinking about. It's in your heart, and it just comes down to you trusting your soul, your heart, trusting your path. The Akasha is where all of our information from every life is stored. It's the ancient library. Everything is being written and has been written. And that means that you have access to that. We all do. And so you are being definitely watched over and protected, just being asked to acknowledge that, call back that power, and tap into that inner wisdom. I will say that this is one of my favorite decks. I really enjoy Rebecca Campbell. I liked Light is the New Black, but I like Rise Sister Rise even more. I love the Starseed Oracle, as you saw in the previous video. I love Danielle Noel's art. I have one of her solo decks, and I was drawn to these decks based off of the beautiful artwork. It's a mixture of collage and I don't know. She does amazing work. I know she's been to Egypt. She definitely gives you these beautiful images that feel familiar yet dreamlike. You know, this is very similar to like Mother Mary, but her own take. The back of the deck is absolutely gorgeous. There is this whole beautiful, divine, feminine feel to the deck. Even like the cover is like a portal. Rebecca Campbell is very big on triangles, and I like the inside of the box says you are the oracle. It's a really good first deck. Like, it's really just gorgeous. And Rebecca Campbell, her writing is really great in here. The only thing I don't like about the deck, or I think is a takeaway, is it's broken up into different types of suits. So suit 1 is confirmation cards, like yes and no, which I do like that she's included yes and no in here. Suit 2 are inquiry cards, basically asking questions like and saying things like trust your path. Suit 3 are action cards. There's things in there like play or leap or share your voice. Suit 4 is activation cards. There's Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, in there. There is Pillar of Light. And then Suit 5 is transmission cards, Akasha, Lemuria, Mintonkin, and Pleiades, which I feel like definitely gave you a little preview into what she was working on next. And so there's definitely a bridge between the two decks. But what I don't like is that instead of the cards being in an alphabetical or numerical order, they're broken up into suits. And so when you're first learning the deck, it's a takeaway because it's like, okay, Dance with Life, what kind of card is that? And where can I find that? Instead of being under D, it's going to be in one of these sections. And so that's the only thing, if you are somebody who really relies on the book for a while before you get into it, which I think is a lot of us, that is the only takeaway. And I think this happens sometimes with like your first deck, you know, just like experimenting. And I like the idea of her breaking it up into suits. I just wish it was like a little easier to navigate in the book. That's the only takeaway because everything else is absolutely beautiful. It goes along with Rebecca Campbell's written work. They definitely, I feel, give you a really good overview, and I like the spreads in here. She gives you a lot of good advice. She talks about how you are the oracle, how to work with it, how to bless it, how to read for other people, how to attune this, opening sacred space, and then how to do some spreads. So it's a very good beginner's oracle deck. And even if you're not a beginner, it gives you like a fresh look at exactly, you know, how she would probably personally read oracle decks. And so I really love that. I love the meanings. I love the artwork. There's a lot of ancient Egypt. There's a lot of starseed stuff. There's a lot of Magdalene rose imagery. There is, of course, Akasha in there. It's just absolutely beautiful artwork, wonderful messages. I personally don't really need to use the book because you get something like the ever unfolding rose, cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. And between that and the artwork, you can definitely glean a message. And I love that. I love when the artwork really matches up with the messages and you feel like you can just intuitively understand without having to use the book. But the book is also really great. A lot of them either have a work your light inquiry, such as Warrior Woman. After a couple paragraphs explaining the card, she asks, have you answered your deepest calling? And then other ones have work your light action. So Dance with Life, she says, do something to change your energy. And so they have also activations. So Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, she says, hold the card on your heart and say, beloved Anna, thank you for laying the foundations for the divine plan. May the seeds of light within me be revealed, and may I surrender to my part of the divine plan. So really just such a beautiful way to learn about the divine feminine path. Such a beautiful way to work your light, which, you know, means like opening yourself up to source energy and channeling and becoming a light worker, becoming a light here on earth. It really is going to help you do that and open yourself up. I think it makes a beautiful gift for somebody who's interested in oracle cards and maybe new to it or not, because it's great for any collection. But if you have someone in your life who is kind of newer to the path and definitely leaning more towards the divine feminine, whether they be a woman or identify as a woman, but they like are really drawn to that divine feminine energy, which is what's been ushering in, right? This is what is happening right now, which is why everything is so tumultuous in our planet right now. This divine feminine energy is coming back to balance out this divine masculine we've had for over 2,000 years, right? And so she's helping to bring that in. And if you know somebody who's on the spiritual path and who seems to be drawn to that, this makes such a good gift for them. Like I said, it's just so beautiful. I feel like when we have an oracle deck like this, where it's beautiful and it's spiritual and it's such a beautiful theme and it's easy to use and read, it's just like a complete package, and it makes a person feel confident, I think, in their abilities to work their light, like she says, and understand themselves. Like I said, my only complaint is that they're not numbered and the book's not in alphabetical order. But after like a couple months of using them, you won't need the book anyway, and so you'll be able to just kind of glean the information on your own. But yeah, I'm a huge Danielle Noel fan, so I think eventually I'll end up having all of her decks because they just really speak to me. I just feel drawn to them. They're just so beautiful. Even a card like this is saying no. There's so much power and energy and beauty in the card, and I feel like they work together really well. Sometimes you will feel a disconnect between an artist and an author, and you'll be like, what this person's saying in the book doesn't match the art, or vice versa. But in this, it's just like such a divine feminine flow. I feel like they were really flowing together, and it's really a complete package. I feel like because of the yes and no cards and the deeper level cards like the Akasha, you're getting a really full spectrum reading every time you use them. You're not needing to reach for like clarifying cards very often. So yeah, I highly recommend this. And I think out of all of her books, if you're looking to read one of them, I would highly recommend Rise, Sister, Rise. That's my favorite. I've actually reread that one, and I plan on passing that one down to my daughter because it's such a good overview into the divine feminine, which I've been studying since I was 13, but Rebecca Campbell put it into one book, put a lot of the information really succinct, really easy for people to understand and digest. So yeah, I hope I didn't fangirl too much, but I highly recommend this deck.